30 Days of Kidnapping by Hyperintrovert on AR3. Chapter 4, Day 2, Part 1. Then he woke to the smell of burning. Just great. That means his parents were cooking or doing an experiment in the kitchen. They were so going to get kicked out of Gotham before the week was over. He groaned as he got out of bed. His head hurt. What the hell did his kidnappers hit him with? He grabbed the fire extinguisher as he headed to the kitchen. It might seem weird to most, if not all, that he brought a fire extinguisher with him on vacation. And they might be right. However, Jazz also brought one along. And, most importantly, they had like 20 in each room of their house. His parents were scientists who worked with volatile chemicals. Safety first, especially when there are about 4 fires each month in the house. Then he might have died because of electricity radiation in an unknown/volatile chemical, but he did not half die because of fire. He hears Jazz chewing out their parents before he enters the kitchen. Good. He didn't have to use the extinguisher. What were you two thinking? You know you're not allowed to use the kitchen at home. Why would you think you could use it here? The elder Fentons were quite literally not allowed to use the kitchen unless they wanted to spread some time in jail. Amity's police force was pretty serious about it. They were trying to ban Dad from driving, but one thing at a time. Then he went right over to the coffee machine. His love maker. Coffee was his love. He paused at the thought. That sounded so wrong. Oh well, he didn't care. It was too early, and his head was still hurting. Taking some pain medicine, he still couldn't believe. Actually, he could. That he had been kidnapped. And on his first day in Gotham, maybe the Ghost Rider got bored? Nah, if it was him yesterday, would have been more. Must have just been Danny's crappy luck. Taking a sip of his kill an elephant coffee, he tunes back into the conversation around him, for the lack of. Where are Mom and Dad? They headed out to the convention. Mom is going to get them breakfast on the way. How are you doing? Groaning, he answers. My head is hurting, and I'm exhausted. You are always tired, though I hope your head feels better soon. Anyways, got any plans for today? Besides not getting kidnapped? Not really. Going to check out Bad Burger and judge it. Wanna join? Sure, we can have lunch together. I'm going to check out some bookstores. Okay, I should get me some more coffee. I'm running low. Should have brought more with me. Oh, the horror. You don't understand. Coffee is life. And I should know. I'm half dead after all. Besides, it tastes good. Jazz rolls her eyes at Dad. Please. That is such a lie. Tea is far superior. You know what? I'm gonna leave before I'm not the only halfer in this family. That's blasphemy. You couldn't hurt me even if you wanted to. Please be safe and text me often. I will try, but you know, technology doesn't always work around me. And you are the one who needs to be safe. You don't have powers to save yourself. I don't need them. I don't attract trouble. No, you cause it. Danny smirks as he closes the door. He laughs when he hears the thump on the door from her shoe. Jazz's aim still sucked and always will. Danny needed to find a good coffee supplier. Well, a coffee supplier, it didn't have to be a good. Best bet would be the grocery stores. Preferably a mom and pop store. After that it would be lunch with Jazz. Now what to do? He didn't want to get his coffee right now. It was too early. People were heading to work. The streets were crowded, and if the streets were crowded, then so would the stores. He didn't feel like walking all day long. Maybe a flight? He was itching to get into Gotham skies, but it would be safer if he did that at night, or would it be safer during the day? He would have to ask Jazz what the best way to avoid the bats were, though knowing her she would say to just not do it. Sitting on a bench, he pulls out his phone, practically an antique with how old it was, though with none of the value seeing all the damage it had. His poor phone got a lot of abuse. For some reason, the older tech was the better it worked around ghosts. If he was given a new phone, it would be a very nice and expensive paperweight. It wouldn't even be able to turn on. Tucker was in living hell when this was discovered. Danny and Sam found it funny. They would both laugh every time Tucker started cursing out all the ghosts because they were messing with his phone. Danny chuckled lightly as he looked at his phone. Now, why did he pull it out? Oh well, whatever it was for, shit out of luck, it wasn't turning on. Hopefully it wouldn't be like this all day. For now he would just watch people for a few hours before hunting down a grocery store. Danny is forced out of his zen by his ghost sense trying to go off, and a stranger shoving a cup of what smells like coffee in his hands. Danny looks up at the stranger. Wow, he was tall and was that patch of white a fashion statement? Oh, he was why his ghost sense was trying to go off. But why? The guy wasn't possessed and wasn't a ghost. Here's your coffee. You ask for a replacement. Granted to give you a heart attack. Don't forget you owe me 3, no questions asked. The wannabe ghost walked away after that. What? Replacement? Danny was confused. Did that guy think Danny was someone else? Most likely. But who cares? Free coffee! That is apparently strong too. He sighs as he takes a sip. Oh, was good coffee. He had to find out what it was called and where to get it. He would keep an eye out for the wannabe ghost / coffee stranger, so he could ask and pay him back somehow. Either with cash or maybe saving him. Though with how built the guy was, Danny didn't think Coffee Stranger would be in need of any savings. Unless it was a ghost attack. He hoped Coffee Stranger didn't get caught up in one. He seems like a really nice guy. Finishing his coffee, Danny gets up and heads off to find a store and a clock. He didn't know what time it was, and he didn't really want Jazz to worry about him. She scared him a bit, though he would never tell anyone that ever. Danny smiles as he finds a cute little mom-and-pop store. He always tries to shop at the small businesses when possible. For starters, they tend to have better quality, and quality was what he was now hunting. Sucking down the acid like the predator he didn't know he was, looking for his prey. He smiles when he finds the coffee. Oh, they had some good ones. And his favorite. K.E. Kill an elephant. Death Granter. He never even had heard of that one. He was so getting it. And Heartstopper. That one sounded a bit concerning even for him. Looking around, he saw that they had other coffees as well, but that was definitely weak coffee. Grabbing all 3 killer coffees, he goes to pay. Pulling out his phone, he tries to turn it on. Hopefully it would work. Yay! It turned on! Holy shit, he was late. Jazz was so going to finish the Polish job. Sending a quick text to her, saying he was on his way, he starts running. He sighs and slows down when he sees the Bad Burger sign. Thank the agents for his powers. No, he liked to try new places and see what kind of food they had, and apparently gross people out with his weird food combinations. The living had no taste, honestly. A mayo and a pineapple sandwich was amazing. No need to gag. Danny is knocked out of his thoughts, quite literally, when someone slams into him. Oof, that must have hurt the stranger. He winces when he sees the stranger on his butt. Dude, I'm so sorry. I wasn't watching where I was going. Here, let me help you up. The bronze stranger smiles as he grabs Danny's hand. It's okay, I also wasn't paying attention. Danny's about to ask the guy if he is hurt when Danny feels a sharp pain on his temples before everything goes black. Danny woke with a groan. Great, just when his head was feeling better too. Looking around, he realizes he is in the same basement as yesterday, which meant that the same people kidnapped him. Oh, okay. So Bruncy was his kidnapper. That's good. That's good to know. But why? Why was he kidnapped? Again? By the same people? And why did they like hitting his head? Like, come on! He doesn't need more brain damage. He smiles slightly and chuckles. They just didn't learn from yesterday, did they? There was no one else in the room with him, so Danny did the same thing he did yesterday, using his powers to get out of the ropes. He winces when he hears the sound of metal hitting the ground. They apparently did learn. They had him in chains. Danny really hoped they didn't hear that, turning invisible as he hears the door being thrown open. Then he looks up to see his kidnappers running down the stairs. Okay, so he had 3 kidnappers. A bronze dude, a girl whose hair looked like a highlighter vomited on it, and a blonde guy. Bronze started yelling at the other 2, something about them being idiots. Highlighter hair looked pissed, and the blonde looked confused. With all of them yelling at each other, then he realized something very important. His bag of coffee was nowhere in sight. Oh, he was pissed now. Well, you know what they say about making the dead guy angry? Don't. Danny smirks. Time to cause some major chaos. Flying to the open door, he slams it closed, locks it, and just for the kicks, freezes it. He chuckles when he hears them rush up the stairs and starts to yell louder. Now, time for some fun. Danny heads to the kitchen and starts dumping everything on the floor. Bag of flour, check. Salt, check. Dishes, check. He pauses in his mess making and starts to crackle loudly. Glitter and glue, a match made in hell. Stepping back, he admires his handiwork. It was perfect. It looked like a herd of toddlers was unleashed in the kitchen. Now just 2 more things before he leaves. Freezing the front door shut as he leaves, he heads off to Bedburger with his arms full of all their coffee. With a shit-eating grin, he knew the cops and possibly the bats would be by soon. He had to admit he didn't think he would be this happy after a kidnapping. You're late. What's that in your arms? Not my fault, and this is all their coffee, Danny huffs as he sits in front of Jazz. Got kidnapped again, and they made me lose all the coffee I had. All the coffee I had just got, so I took theirs. Oh, and I lost my phone too. Did you order for me? I'm starving. Jazz closes her eyes as she lets out a soul-deep sigh. Of course you got kidnapped again. This is This is the second time in as many days. Are you okay? And yes, I ordered for you. Got you the number 4. You know, I just hope this isn't going to be an everyday thing. I froze their front door, so the cops should be there soon to take care of them. What's the number 4? I don't know. Everything on the 4th line of the menu. Danny gulps and throws his hands up to his forehead. You do care, he cries out with a smile. You know me so well. If you don't stop now, I will stick you in the furnace. You're making a scene. Danny chuckles. Just put up with so much of his shit. Really showed how much she loved him. Do you know how much longer until the food is ready? I can't wait to play judge. Should be soon.